Yes.
I'll call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is an open meeting of the Seward, Nebraska governing body. The city of Seward abides by the Nebraska Open Meetings Act and conducting business. A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is displayed on the north wall of this meeting room facility as required. Disclosure of meeting recording processes is posted in the meeting room. A participant sign sheet is available for use by any citizen addressing the council. Presenters shall approach the podium, state their name and address for the clerk's record. They are asked to limit remarks to 5 minutes. All remarks shall be directed to the mayor, who shall determine by whom any appropriate response shall be made. The city of Seward reserves the right to adjust the order of items on this agenda if necessary and may elect to take action on any of the items listed. Please call the roll.
Kaler.
Here.
Colterman.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Streisand.
Here.
Tanies.
Here.
Morgan.
Here.
We have a quorum present.
All right, thank you. First item, or administrative item, is the fiscal year 2024 adoption. Greg.
Yes, throughout all of our meetings in September, we presented the budget, made amendments based on the recommendations of this body. Those were updated for you on Tuesday and provided. This is our final budget meeting. We also noted that we had attended the joint public hearing as required by state statute to present our budget on Wednesday last week.
Is that only Wednesday? Okay.
Seems like it was just yesterday. But this will be the fourth and final meeting, and so here today we'll have a number of items present to adopt the budget and then send it off to the county and the auditors this afternoon. We do have Finance Director Treasurer Sydney Golden with us, who will handle those duties along with Derek today as me and the mayor journey off to Lincoln to the league. So I can answer any questions about the budget. Otherwise, it is presented as amended.
Yep, so the first item would be 1A, approval of an additional 1% increase in restricted funds. You're welcome to ask any questions or have any discussion.
This is one of the items that does require a supermajority, so a vote of 6.
But just a simple motion.
But a simple motion, yes.
I'll move to adopt.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanies, Colterman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
Alright, item 1B, this is approval of the municipal budget for the city of Seward for fiscal year 2024 and authorize the filing of budget forms.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanies, Colterman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
Item C is a resolution setting the 2023-2024 property tax request for the city of Seward. I would need someone to introduce the resolution.
I'll introduce the resolution.
Alright, the resolution has been introduced and is designated as resolution number 2023-14. Would anyone like to move that this resolution be passed and adopted?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanies, Colterman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
Alright, next we have item 1D, ordinance for the adoption of the municipal budget to appropriate sums of necessary expenses and liabilities to provide for an effective date and include an additional 1% in restricted funds. I would need someone to introduce the ordinance.
I'll introduce.
Alright. An ordinance to adopt the budget statements to be termed the budget and annual appropriation bill to appropriate sums for necessary expenses and liabilities, which includes an additional 1% increase in the restricted funds, to provide for an effective date and to provide for publication of this ordinance in pamphlet form. The ordinance has been read by title and is designated as ordinance number 2023-21, and the title is hereby approved. I need a motion to dispense with statutory rule.
I'll
So-
move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanies, Colterman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
This is ordinance number 2023-21. Would anyone like to move that this ordinance be passed and adopted as read?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question is, shall ordinance number 2023-21 be finally passed and adopted? Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanya, Coltman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
I believe that's our last agenda item. We will have,
We have to pass the ordinances, be
Final.
adopted to the record.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll just note it now. You just approved the budget. On your Tuesday meeting, you will have 3 more ordinances to set the new utility rates pursuant to the budget and to adjust the COLA. So just giving that will all be in there as well.
So that's the only ordinance this evening, so only one final motion to make the ordinance a part of the permanent record.
So moved.
A
Second.
motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanya, Coltman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
And before we're done, did you want to add something?
You did. I know this is redundant, but I just want to mention that, how extremely important and how the communication among the city administration and the department chairs of all of the people that participated in the budget, city administrator Butcher and all of his team, especially in light of the fact that we lost our resource for that, did a tremendous job there. The fiscal responsibility that was displayed there and the leadership is very much appreciated. Mayor Eichmeyer and his leadership also is very much on display as well, along with the fiscal responsibility. And I think it was a few of us had made it over to the joint taxation meeting, and Administrator Butcher did a very good job of giving a clear, precise message to people who were present about how the budget is formed and the challenges that the city council faces. And I think it was very evident, because when Greg finished his presentation, there were very few questions about the city budget. So I felt like it was very clear to everyone there that we were extremely well prepared. So I felt it was very, very well handled. Thank you.
Thank you, Rich. Anyone else?
I just want to thank Councilmember Morgan, and I'll note, this year we're going to probably pay closer attention than ever before to the budget as we work with the staff to stay within it. Because again, it was also created by one person, overseen by the council, and everybody else double checked multiple times. But nevertheless, we're going to still watch it like a hawk. And then we're going to take a lot more time, because we'll be speeding up a new finance director in the process. So we may make some adjustments to how you guys interact with it, how soon we get started on it. We'll probably move a lot of that calendaring up to account for the time we're going to need to give Sydney and myself ample time to show her how everything's done, how the sausage is made, and then give you opportunities to have input. So it'll probably be a little bit more of a painstaking this year, but in a different way, painstaking next year for the budget, because we're going to make sure that she feels incredibly comfortable in the way and the process and how we communicate that and work with you guys and the mayor especially to set that up for next year. So, thank you. Thanks for hanging with me again. I know we had kind of all these extra meetings and stuff, and we'll reanalyze that and talk with the mayor about how we approach that in the future. But we'll,
Thank you.
yeah, I appreciate everybody and my department heads too. They hung in there with me when I was going back saying, hey, this project's out, this one's not going. And I tried to communicate ahead of time before we made those motions of what was going on and what we'll try to do to still make some of those happen, and some of them we'll just discuss again next year.
With that, anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Please register your votes. Please display the votes.
Voting in favor, Kaler, Tanya, Coltman, Miller, Streisand, Morgan, 6-0.
That was actually have to go to work.